I always yield to your legal expertise. However, Attorney Roque, this is one of the occasions when my knowledge in law became gray. It is very clear, Mr. Chair, that from the definition of a lawyer-client relationship, kahit walang kontrata, kahit walang payment of legal fees, the moment the client starts seeking advice and the lawyer starts giving advice, a client-attorney relationship is created.
Ang problema, wala pong kahit anong konsulta na nangyari sa panig ko at sa kahit kanino sa panig po ng Lucky South. Kaya miski wala pong bayad, wala pong kontrata, wala rin po kaming komunikasyon. Dahil ang komunikasyon ko po, lahat po yan ay kay Cassie Ong lamang.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With all due respect to Attorney Harry Roque, I always yield to your legal expertise. However, Attorney Roque, this is one of the occasions when my knowledge in law became gray. So I wish to ask once more for the record. With all due respect, kayo po ba ay abogado ng Lucky South 99?
Hindi po, wala po akong attorney-client relationship sa kahit sino na shareholder or officer ng Lucky Star.
From that
Lucky South.
answer of Attorney Roque, Mr. Chair, I wish to share to the committee the case of Eusebio Sison versus Attorney Lourdes Dumlao. This is AC number 11959, April 28, 2021. If I may quote, a lawyer-client relationship is established when lawyers consistently manifest to a person consulting them that they would provide legal representation or assistance, regardless of the close ties between the parties or the lack of written contract or the non-payment of legal fees. It is very clear, Mr. Chair, that from the definition of a lawyer-client relationship, kahit walang kontrata, kahit walang payment of legal fees, the moment the client starts seeking advice and the lawyer starts giving advice, a client-attorney relationship is created. Can we be enlightened on this, Mr. Chair, from Attorney Roque?
Attorney Roque, you are now recognized.
Mr. Chair, tama po yun. Ang problema, wala pong kahit anong konsulta na nangyari sa panig ko at sa kahit kanino sa panig po ng Lucky South. Kaya miski wala pong bayad, wala pong kontrata, wala rin po kaming komunikasyon. Dahil ang komunikasyon ko po, lahat po yan ay kay Cassie Ong lamang.
I understand, Mr. Chair, that the statement of Attorney Roque, he was never consulted by Lucky South 99. But he has been repeating a while ago that Cassandra Leong is the representative of Lucky South 99. Is it not that the consultations made by Representative Ong with Attorney Roque, the consultations as well that was made by Lucky South 99 with Attorney Roque, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, gaya ng aking sinabi po kanina, ang aking attorney-client relationship ay kay Cassandra Ong at kay Whirlwind. Dahil sila po ay umakto bilang ahente ng Lucky South, pero hindi ko po naging kliyente ang Lucky South. Para po siguro malinaw, it is an instance where both Whirlwind and Lucky South will benefit kung magtutuloy ang negosyo ng Lucky South. Kasi kung wala naman po Lucky South, useless yung pinatayong premises ng Whirlwind. At kung wala naman ng Whirlwind, wala ring uupahan ang Lucky South. Pero pagdating po sa attorney-client relationship, dapat meron man lang komunikasyon sa panig ng abogado at ng kliyente, whether or not there is a written agreement, whether or not there is bayad. Pero wala po talagang ganon dahil limited lang ako kay Cassie Ong.
Mr. Chair, I just wish to remind our resource speaker that I think there were 3 members of the committee who have been delving on this question, and repeatedly, Attorney Roque stated that he is lawyering for Cassandra Ong. Cassandra Ong is the representative of Lucky South 99. And it is really hard to conceive how he can separate himself from Lucky South 99 if his client is representing no less than Lucky South 99. Lucky South is not a natural person. It is a juridical person. The only way to talk with a lawyer is through a representative, and that is Cassandra Ong. If I may add, Mr. Chair, under Section 3 of Canon 3, lawyer-client relationship. A lawyer-client relationship, yes, Attorney Roque is correct, the highest fiduciary character. As a trust relation, it is essential that the engagement is founded on the confidence reposed by the client on the lawyer. Therefore, a lawyer-client relationship shall arise when the client consciously, voluntarily, and in good faith vest a lawyer with a client's confidence for the purpose of rendering legal services such as providing legal advice, representation, and the lawyer, whether expressly or impliedly, agrees to render such services. There are 2 elements, Mr. Chair. The first element is that the client solicits advice and service of the lawyer. And the second element, the lawyer renders service and advice to the client. I think in the given situation, both were fulfilled. There is Cassandra Ong, or there was Cassandra Ong, representing the juridical person Lucky South 99, who solicited the advice, the service of Attorney Harry Roque. And Attorney Harry Roque physically accompanied Cassandra Ong to PAGCOR, a manifestation of his act of rendering service and advice to his client. I humbly submit, Mr. Chair, that I think there are sufficient legal provisions to establish that a lawyer-client relationship was indeed created with Lucky South 99. Mr. Chair.
You want to reply on that, former Secretary Roque?
Mr. Chair, I can only say that as a lawyer, I have a different opinion. I acknowledge that there is lawyer-client relationship between me and Cassie Ong as representative of Whirlwind, who in turn acted as agent for Lucky South. But that does not mean that Lucky South gave me their trust and confidence to represent me, and I will repeat it. Kung kukunin po nila ako to quash the raid on their property, I will readily accept it. Pero yun nga po, hindi nila gagawin yun. Dahil sa tingin nila, ang kritiko ng gobyerno hindi magpapanalo ng kaso sa kanila, magpapalala pa. Yun lang po ang sitwasyon talaga.
Mr. Chair, earlier, Attorney Roque likewise stated that Whirlwind is the agent of Lucky South. Does our resource speaker confirm this, Mr. Chair?
Yes po.
And can agency be implied?
Well, it can be implied, but an agency once delegated cannot be further delegated. Yun po ang rule.
Can it be done verbally?
Well, agency is written or verbal. Pero ang sinasabi ko nga po, yung delegated authority to Cassie Ong cannot be delegated any further. Ang pwede lang po mag-delegate talaga ay yung principal.
And what therefore is your concrete basis why you reach the conclusion that Whirlwind is an agent of Lucky South 99?
Well, una-una, Mr. Chair, because that is how Whirlwind explained it to me. And under the circumstance na sila nagpapaupa ng property nila at may interest sila na magpatuloy ang negosyo ng Lucky South, nakita ko naman po kung anong interest din ng Whirlwind. Ang interest ng Whirlwind ay magpatuloy po ang negosyo nung nag-uupa sa kanila, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I want to go to the basic. Agency is a contract where there are 2 parties involved. the agent, and the principal. It is hard to conceive, Mr. Chair, that Attorney Roque will be relying on the representation only of Whirlwind without an active participation of the other party, who is supposed to be the principal, the Lucky South 99. And even assuming that indeed Whirlwind is an agent of Lucky South, I hope we are reminded as well by the principle that the act of the agent is the act of the principal, and the liability of the agent is the liability of the principal. Similar to attorney-client relationship, there is a fiduciary relationship that is existing between the principal and the client. So I wish to conclude, Mr. Chair, that Attorney Roque's representation did not cover only the Whirlwind, but extends even to Lucky South, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much. Tama-tama yung time mo. Dahil I was about to... hindi pa ba? I was about to remind you that your time is up. So there is an extension.
Yes,
Another
Mr. Chair.
extension for you, Congresswoman Luistro. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Mr. Chair. I just wish to confirm from the committee, Mr. Chair, if the Bureau of Immigration, the DOLE, and the BIR complied already with our request for submission of records of foreign nationals who were issued working visa, employment certificate, and registration as income taxpayer. That is for BIR. May we hear from them, Mr. Chair?
Yes, BIR complied with all the documents. We have the documents here. I think we have sent it through the Viber group that we created. And at the same time, the immigration also, they have submitted the documents. Unfortunately, ang DOLE, hindi po sila nag-submit. And we did not invite the DOLE, particularly because we have mentioned and manifested in the last hearing that we are focusing on the criminal activities pertaining to the body of the motu proprio. But we will be asking also, but we ask the DOLE to submit all the documents. So, Comsec, can you again remind the DOLE to submit all the documents that being asked by Congresswoman Luistro?
And may I request, Mr. Chair, also our committee to check on the consistency of the records of these three agencies upon submission?
Yes, check nyo ba yung accuracy? Okay, we will be asking the COMSEC to check the accuracy of all these documents. And as a matter of fact, all the documents are here at the back of of the chair. So if you wanted to see the documents and check it for yourself, you can do so. Go ahead, Congresswoman Luistro.
There's a letter here coming from Mayor Capil. May sinasabi po siya ditong sinisiraan daw siya ni Pyra Lucas, Toto Kausing. Allegedly, it is being alleged na mayroon siyang pag-aaring 5 milyon. Nakakatanggap siya ng 5 milyong piso buwan-buwan. Mayroon siyang mga luxurious cars and mansions, which he is denying through this letter. I became curious, Mr. Chair, and may I ask pa, kayo po ba ang tamang agency para mag-initiate ng lifestyle check to check on the veracity of the allegations contained on the letter of Mayor Capil?
Hindi po, ma'am. May DILG po na para tumingin po sa kaso.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
may I know
Congresswoman Luistro.
if we have information whether the DILG has initiated already a lifestyle check on Mayor Capil in the face of the allegations contained in his own letter?
Well, in the last hearing, we have asked Mayor Capil if he's willing to undergo a lifestyle check. And he said yes. And we tasked the proper agencies, including DILG and AMLAC, to start the process of that lifestyle check. So maybe we can ask, wala tayong DILG. I think, andyan si ASEC. ASEC, Racha, Racho pala. Racho, can you comment
Good
on
afternoon,
the...
Mr. Chair, and good afternoon to the
Yes,
members of
can
the
you
committee.
comment on the query of Congresswoman
Sir,
Ministro?
may I refer you to the head of the task force na binuo po ng DILG, si Atty. Landay po.
I will wait. So you have created a task force.
Yes, sir. To look on this matter, sir. Nasa kanya po yung details. She's
Sige.
here now, sir.
What's the name of the person?
Attorney Alday po.
Attorney?
Alday po.
Okay.
Alday.
Ma'am, can
Nandito
you
po
kindly
siya.
sit here? Oh, yan. Diyan na lang. Palit na lang kayo. Babae pala. Lalaki pala. Please state your name and your position, please.
Magandang hapon po, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members of the Committee, and our resource speakers here today. I am Attorney Alday from the Department of the Interior and Local Government. I am the head of the task force for Porac Tarlac, Porac Pampanga, Your Honor. I also represented the investigation for the Bamban Tarlac for Mayor Alice Guo, Your Honor.
There's a query by Congresswoman Luistro if you have started and initiated the lifestyle check of Mayor Capil because and also Mayor kay Alice Go naman established na po yung 29 accounts niya and the 29 billion transactions, no, bank transactions that we have seen, no. As a matter of fact, galing yun sa Court of Appeals na naipile na po ng AMLAC. So with regard to that query kay Mayor Capil, have you started it?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, as for the lifestyle check, Your Honor, no, ang finokus lang po ng DILG sa aming investigasyon, Your Honor, is if ever ang munisipyo po ng Porac Tarlac ay nakapag-release ng mga permits na may kulang. Kung kunyari po, kung sila po ay nag-release ng business permit, and may mga pagkukulang po sa dokumento na isubmit ang mga POGO na nasa kanilang lugar, doon po magkakaroon po sila ng mga administrative liabilities.
Wait.
Ang aming investigasyon po nag-focus lang po sa administrative liabilities, hindi po sa lifestyle check, Your Honor.
So hindi kayo nag-initiate ng lifestyle check kay Mayor Capil.
Your Honor,
Wherein in the last hearing, he manifested that he's willing to sign any waiver for the opening of his accounts and his properties, where it was not considered by the task force that you created, that he manifested here in this hearing that he was willing to open all of his accounts.
as Your Honor,
Kasi baka mamaya may makita kayo doon leading to something. Hindi niyo ba ginawa yun?
Your Honor, we will try to consider it. Ipaparating ko po ito sa mga pinuno po ng aming departamento. Ngunit sa kasalukuyan po, ang pinokus lang po ng aming task force ay ang magiging mga posibleng administrative liability ng ating butihing mayor mula sa Porac Pampanga kung meron po man, Your Honor.
Sige, kasi nga siya na nagsalita mismo that is willing to open all his bank accounts and his property. So try to maximize the willingness of the person to go to undergo so many investigations. So isama niyo po 'yon, please.
Sige po,
DILG.
Your Honor. We
Sige,
will consider it po.
Luistro, now you have
Mr.
the
Chair,
floor again.
for us to have a foundation of the information on this allegation, may I respectfully move, Mr. Chair, that we invite Pyra Lucas and Toto Kausing to give us initial information, Mr. Chair, about the allegations which were mentioned by no less than Mayor Capil in his own letter.
So there's a motion to invite sino?
Pyra Lucas and Toto Kausing.
Pyra is a woman?
Yes,
Pyra Luca.
I suppose so, Mr. Chair.
Pyra Luca.
Lucas.
So, and also,
Toto Kausing.
Mr. Toto Kausing.
The names are mentioned in the letter of Mayor Capil, Mr. Chair.
So there's a motion to invite those two personalities. Is there a second motion? There's a second motion. Is there any
Second.
objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. Go ahead.
Last question, Mr. Chair, is for PESA and PAGCOR. Before the pronouncement of the President about the total ban of all POGO operations in the Philippines, may I ask, what really is the policy? Who is or which agency has the issuing authority to POGO licensees? PEZA first.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, and to the honorable members of this committee. I am Attorney Jenny Romero, the head of the legal department of PEZA. And in behalf of our Director General, Tereso Panga, we wish to really thank the committee for inviting us because this will be the forum, one of the fora probably, where we could clarify and correct the pervading information that PEZA registers Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators or POGOs. An information it appears to be believed, shared, and even common to the public, other government agencies, and various offices.